guys, it's Jen, and I wanted to give you another update in my pregnancy. I am currently 37 weeks and 3 days pregnant, which means there is a little over 2.5 weeks left. According to my little app, the baby is the size of a hyena. I am just kidding. That wouldn't fit in my stomach very well. But this does say that the baby is the size of a skunk. So that's like Oreo size. It's the size of my dog. And I sure feel that way. I have been sick, like really sick for the last couple of weeks. I think I got bronchitis. I'm like sounding really congested. And I have just been so miserable because every time I cough, my whole stomach contracts. I don't have a lot of lung space. I've been just like coughing up mucus and stuff. This is like so TMI, but I gotta say it because you guys might understand. Every time I cough, I pee. So I have been going through pads like there is no tomorrow. Thank goodness Ben picked up a couple of packs for me for actually having the baby and dealing with the postpartum bleeding. But seems like it had to come in handy a little bit sooner because otherwise I would probably be changing my underwear like every hour at least. If you guys want a pad recommendation, I think the Always Flex Foam ultra thin ones are like really pretty good. Even after I had Aria, I probably should have done some pelvic floor therapy. So that's definitely something that I'm going to look into after having this baby. Being able to jump up and down without being worried about accidents or, you know, spin Aria around and not leak. Little things like that I'd never really heard people talk about before I had a baby. But that's why I feel like, as embarrassing as it is, it's something that I do want to mention because if some of you guys out there are having urinary incontinence issues, just know you're not alone. I'm definitely in that camp, and especially now with all of the coughing. Another kind of serious thing that happened at my 35-week checkup, the doctor said she couldn't get a really good measurement of the baby's stomach. The stomach seemed to be measuring a little bit small. At 32 weeks, it was measuring 32 weeks. At 35 weeks, she said the measurement was getting a little bit like 32. So she wanted me to get a fancy ultrasound done because it could potentially be like an umbilical cord issue. And obviously that could be kind of scary. If there's something that isn't getting properly to the baby, the head would stay the same size. Still coughing. The head would basically stay the same size, but the stomach is the first thing to shrink down. So we scheduled an appointment right away. Unfortunately, we waited an entire week to hear anything, and I had to email her a couple times and say, hey, you know, we've been really stressed out and worried. Do you have any updates on the ultrasound? Like, what's going on there? And she said, oh, because of some miscommunication, she hadn't gotten the photos. So she searched that up, found out, got back to us about an hour later, and she said everything is normal. So all of that stress and worry, sometimes I feel like in pregnancy there's just like a million things that you can worry about. And in the end, I'm glad we went through that whole process to know for sure that the baby's okay. But there's also a part of me that's like, oh gosh, this is costing us hundreds of dollars, countless days and hours of just crying and worrying and being so concerned about a problem that kind of wasn't a problem to begin with. And I know a lot of you guys out there have gone through the same thing and had it be a problem. Oh, I just feel so much for you. I think maybe partially because of the stress of everything, I got really sick, like I said. Being sick with another toddler to take care of and being in the last few weeks of pregnancy. Literally, I'm having such bad sciatica pains from the pinching of the pressure of my stomach. I'll have these shooting pains go through my butt and my thigh that it's hard to even walk room to room, much less having to chase after a toddler. And then the coughing on top of it, sometimes just coughing literally will trigger the shooting pains. And my OB-GYN has basically said, well, in terms of the pains, it's gonna go away once you have the baby. It's like, oh, how am I gonna get through these last few weeks? My main goal is just to like get healthy, just try my best to hold it together. I will say, compared to my pregnancy with Aria, I am feeling less swollen. I have noticed my face is, you guys can probably tell too, my face has a little bit more puff and chub than it used to. With Aria, I swear my nose was like super wide by like halfway through the pregnancy, and the fact that I'm only hitting that now in the last few weeks of this pregnancy, already says quite a lot about me just like not being as bloated. In fact, I can still fit my wedding ring. Again, with my pregnancy with Aria, I was unable to do like 2 or 3 months before I gave birth. So the fact that I can still put this on, even though I don't keep it on all day, says a lot about my hands, like just not being as swollen. But I mean, the sciatica thing, I definitely didn't have that with Aria. I maybe had shooting pains like that like 2 or 3 times ever. And this one is like, I'll have that 2 or 3 times an hour every day, all the time. I did see a massage therapist who specializes in prenatal massage, and she massaged the crap out of my butt and shoulders and back, and that made me feel much better because it was definitely so worth it. The baby has definitely dropped. For me, I feel like I first noticed that maybe around 34, 35 weeks when I would be brushing my teeth. Usually I would try to get on my tippy toes so that my bump would be sort of above the sink so that I could brush. But then I realized my stomach dropped low enough that if I sort of leaned down a little bit, my bump could fit underneath the ridge at the sink, and that was a lot more comfortable versus just like accidentally splashing water all over myself while I was brushing my teeth. That was a good thing. Plus the heartburn situation, which was so bad before, had a little bit of relief. And I could also eat a little bit more. So back to eating full-size meals. So let me give you a little bit of a bump date. So at this point, that's about the size of my belly. It's very large, very low. And the thing about the stomach sizes is not really gonna get bigger than it is right now up until I give birth. Technically, full term is at 37 weeks, so if the baby were to come right now, he could probably breathe on his own and be like a full-blown human outside of my body, which is like a little bit crazy to think about. I still feel like I have so much I need to do. We don't have a crib, we don't have a dresser. I still need to like wash a bunch of baby clothes, and I still have work to do. I feel like I haven't been able to get to that point where I can really just like nest. But I know I'm not the only working mama out there, and a lot of you guys, you've had to work up to your due dates as well, so solidarity. Another thing I wanted to mention is we made the decision to put Aria in a daycare. Financially, it is super freaking expensive to put your kids in daycare, but when it comes to me being able to take care of myself and get all the work done that I need to, plus have her acclimate to being in daycare. She's been doing amazing at it, been really, really happy, napping, eating a ton there. That has definitely improved our quality of life, and it does help me feel more prepared for the new baby. I obviously have never brought a baby home while already having a child, and I've heard so many people give me advice on saying like, oh, you're gonna have jealousy problems, there's gonna be clingy problems, there could be regressions. So if you guys have any advice for me of how to navigate bringing home a second child, please let me know that down in the comments, because I would love to just learn as much as I can in preparation for this inevitable force coming toward us very, very quickly. Well, I guess that is about it for this pregnancy update. I know I sound pretty incoherently congested right now, and there were a lot of like less than chipper things that I've gone through in the last month, but you know, I just hope that some of you guys out there relate and are fighting this battle along with me. If you guys want to check out the last few pregnancy vlogs, I will leave links to those down in the info box below, as well as my whole pregnancy playlist. I hope you guys really enjoyed this and found it helpful. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to see more of my videos, and turn on that notification bell to make sure you don't miss my next video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!